Hi everyone, how are you? And welcome back to another yoga flow with me. So join me on your mat and come to a seated position. Make yourself comfortable, close your eyes, rest your palms on your knees facing up, and take deep breaths through your nose and out through your nose, focusing on that cold air coming in on the inhale and that warm air leaving the nose on the exhale. On our next inhale, we're going to slide our left hand along the mat, bringing our right hand over towards our left hand, taking a deep stretch. Keep breathing. And on the next inhale, coming back to neutral, sliding the right hand along the mat and bringing the left above us. Take nice 3 deep breaths. Next, we're going to do a lovely seated twist, placing our right hand on our left knee, left hand back, looking over our left shoulder. Repeating on the opposite side, looking over the right shoulder, feeling that nice stretch in the shoulders, the upper back. On our next inhale, coming into a tabletop position, we're going to do some cat and cow. Inhaling on cow and exhaling into cat, tightening the abdomen, releasing the abdomen in cow, cat. Inhale and exhale, tightening the abdomen, chin to chest. On our next inhale, we're going to come back to tabletop, come onto our toes, and slowly make your way to the top of your mat. Coming into Samastiti, we're going to inhale, bringing the hands up to the sky, joining the palms, looking up to them. Exhale, forward fold over straight or bent knees. Inhale, half lift, your spine straight. Make sure there's nothing in front of you that you could knock. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, come into downward dog. And stay here for 3 breaths. On our next inhale, we're going to take our right foot to the front of the mat, coming into a high crescent lunge. We're going to inhale, bring the hands up to the sky, looking up towards joint palms, staying for a breath. And on our next inhale, we're going to come into a extended side angle pose. So bringing our right hand next to our right foot, looking towards our left fingertips, staying for 5 breaths. And if you'd like, bringing that left hand and grabbing the inside of our right thigh, looking towards our left shoulder for a nice twisted version, staying for 5 breaths. Slowly come out of it palms to the mat, and we're going to come into a folded pigeon. So inhaling, lengthen your pigeon, and exhale, fold onto the mat. Staying here for 5 breaths. This is a great pose for targeting our hip flexors and our glutes. So enjoy it and relax into it. Slowly making our way back up with the breath. Take an inhale and come back to plank. Exhale, push into downward facing dog for a breath. And on our next inhale, we're going to take our left foot to the front of our mat and come into a high crescent lunge. Inhaling, palms touching, looking up to the sky. Staying here, holding the pose, breathing through the nose, exhaling, coming into our extended side angle pose, this time looking towards our right fingertips, staying for 5 breaths. And if you wish, you can join me and do the twisted version by grabbing our left inner thigh with our right hand, looking past our right shoulder. Slowly making our way out of it, coming into our pigeon pose by placing our left leg in front of us, right leg straight behind us, inhaling, lengthen, and exhale, fold over. Stay here for 5 breaths through your nose. With every breath, I want you to deepen into that stretch. Slowly coming back up, coming into a plank. We're going to come into a side plank. Looking up towards that left hand. Inhale, placing the hips on the mat. Exhale, bend into a rainbow. Inhale, place your hips on the mat. Exhale, bend into a rainbow shape. Inhale, hips on the mat. Exhale, bending into a rainbow shape. Inhale, coming back. Coming into our plank. Exhaling and inhaling, switching sides. Exhale. Inhale, hips to the floor. Exhale, coming into our rainbow. Inhale, hips to the floor. Exhale, coming into rainbow. Inhale, hips to the floor. Exhale, coming into rainbow. One more inhale, hips to the floor. And exhale, come into a side plank. Coming back into our normal plank, dropping our knees into tabletop. Inhale, coming into child's pose. Staying here for a breath, just to catch our breath. And slowly, if you wish, pushing ourselves forward and joining me for a puppy pose for 5 breaths with every inhale, I want you to deepen into this stretch, aiming to put our chest on the mat. On our next inhale, I want you to slowly side yourself onto your stomach on the mat, fully down, and pushing ourselves up. We're going to come into a high cobra. Taking a few breaths here, looking straight ahead, giving a stretch to our lower back. Inhaling, we're going to push up into tabletop, and exhale, come into a downward facing dog. Staying here for 3 breaths. And slowly, I want you to place your right leg into the pigeon pose and coming to sit down into Dandasana on our mat. So straightening out our legs, straightening our back. Inhale, bringing the hands above us, and exhale, I want you to bend forward. Inhale, lift up, straighten the spine. Exhale, I want you to bend forward, folding onto our legs as much as you can without having that bend in our neck and our upper back. Trying to keep our back straight to avoid any injury to it. Breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, I recommend you do. Inhale, we're going to look up, straighten our spine, and come back, sitting into Dandasana. Bringing our legs up towards our chest, we're going to grab our feet and make the soles of our feet touch together. Grab them with our hand. Coming into Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. Inhaling, lengthening out, and exhaling, folding over. Taking deep breaths. Focusing on the stretch in our hips. Releasing the tension in our shoulders and neck. On our next inhale, we're going to gently lengthen our legs and come lying down onto our backs. Position yourself in a way that you're comfortable, and just take a deep breath to settle in our new position. On the next inhale, we're going to push up into a bridge, grabbing our hands underneath us, taking deep breaths. And if you wish to stay in bridge for the next 5 breaths, or join me for a wheel pose, placing our hands underneath our shoulders and pushing ourselves up, trying to straighten out our arms, coming onto your tiptoes if you wish, breathing, and slowly bringing our chin back to our chest, lowering our head first, shoulders, back, hips, vertebrae by vertebrae, and immediately coming into a counter pose, bringing our knees to our chest and rocking side to side if you wish. Taking deep breaths through the nose. On the next inhale, we're going to come back and slowly roll to our side, sit up. Give yourself time, getting up and coming back to Samastiti. Inhale, raising our hands, palm to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, straight or bent knees. Inhale, half lift, your spine is straight. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Staying here for 5 breaths. Pedaling out your feet or just coming onto your toes. Move around here, experiment with what feels right in this position. Adding movement to the hips, the shoulders, the feet. See what works for you. Slowly coming back to tabletop and coming into our puppy pose one more time, aiming to put that chest on the mat. And if you wish, you can bring your hands behind your neck, making sure that your knees are below your hips. Unlike me here, I went a little bit too deep into this stretch. And for some that may not be that flexible, that could really injure or overstretch your lower back. So make sure that you do not push yourself to the extreme in this pose, but just do with what feels right for you. Slowly coming out and coming onto our stomach. We're going to push ourselves up through a cobra into tabletop and come into a seated position. Inhaling through our nose, we're going to bring our palms into the air looking up. Exhale, chin to chest, back to our side. Inhale, hands into the air looking up. Exhale, hands back to the side, looking down. Inhaling and exhaling. Closing our eyes. Going within, we are going to focus on our breath. That cold inhale in and that slow, warm exhale out. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time for another video.